Hi guys, it is Lane from Silicote. Here is your Adobe Illustrator tutorial. So we'll start with launching Illustrator. Okay, so here is your launch screen. Mine has some grade 9 vector projects on it. First, actually, I'll just do a little vector raster example just to explain it. So Illustrator makes vector graphics. So vectors are basically, they're made up of like geometric shapes and curves and paths. So when you want to make a vector bigger, or even zooming in, the computer knows to just use that equation for the geometric shapes and expand them. And that's why you keep like a nice sharp shape around the image. Raster, see when we zoom out, they look pretty close. When you zoom into the raster image, you can see how pixelated it is. This is actually a JPEG. So this image is made up of pixels. And when you expand on the pixels, the computer is just trying to guess how to fill those spaces. And that's why you get this kind of messy, pixelated look. So that's the difference between vector graphics and raster graphics. See, vectors are really good for like logos and that kind of thing because you can blow them up really big or shrink them down really small and they don't lose integrity. Whereas like rasters, I mean, they're good for photos and things like that, but you can't really blow them up like you can a vector. So let's start again. So go to New, and here you have some settings just to kind of help you with your formatting. So if you started a web image, it would give you some common like web dimensions. You would work in pixels and you would be in RGB color. We'll work in print today, just on regular letter size paper. We'll do a 1.25 bleed. Whoops. 0.125. Just to give us a little bit of space around the edge of the paper in case you wanted an image or your background to bleed off. And we're in CMYK, so we can hit create. And here is our artboard. So we have our layers panel here, one artboard, and our layers. We're working in layout. I'm actually gonna switch to, let's see what essentials. Ooh, I don't like that. Let's do tracing. Yes. So I like to pull up my layers. I always like to see my layers. And on the left here, you have all your tools. So today we're just gonna make like a little figure, a little vector figure, kind of like the frog. But I think we're gonna make like a little rabbit. So we'll start with the rectangle tool. So you can see beside rectangle tool, when I hover over the shape, it has the letter M. We could come up again. So that's the shortcut. So if you wanted just to pull that up without having to go to the toolbar, you could just hit the letter M, and then it's a shortcut to the tool. There we go. And these tools that have the little triangle right in the corner, it means there's more tools like hidden underneath. So if you click on that, it'll pull up these other tools. So you have some more shapes there. That's the text tool. So you have different like paths you can put text on. Pen tool, adding anchor points, deleting anchor points, that kind of thing. So anything with like a little triangle in the corner means there's more tools hidden underneath. So let's start with the shape. I'm going to start with rounded rectangle, and up here is the color fill for the shape and the stroke. So we're going to fill it, say like a gray rabbit. You can choose it from here. You can eyedrop. It'll automatically pull the eyedropper off when you have this swatch palette over here. It'll also give you like common swatches and a color guide, themes, you have to upload them. The color guide is drop down and it'll give you like little sample palettes based on the color that you picked. I like to keep this one like that. Okay, and we don't want to stroke around our shape. So, well, just for our purposes, I'll show you what it does. So we've got a shape filled with gray, black outline. And I don't really want the black outline. So I'm going to choose that little red diagonal line, and that just means it's nothing. So now to alter this shape, you're going to have to use, you can use either the selection tool or the direct selection tool. So we'll use the selection tool to start. You can scale it. You can rotate it. You can change your curves. So the rounded rectangle, you can change like the arc of the corner, and that's what I want to do. I want it to be a little bit more roundy. So that's going to be our bunny's body. There you go. And when you see this blue square around a shape, it means it's selected. So that's the one that you can move. Also, Command V is, oh, sorry, I meant Command Z. Command Z, like in other Adobe programs, is undo. Command C, Command V, copy paste. They're kind of the same across the board. So that's going to be our rabbit's body. Now let's make him a little head. I'm going to choose the ellipse tool, which is just a fancy name for circle. Okay, so when I want to make a circle that is scaled, so the same around every side, a perfect circle, hold down the Shift key and then pull out your shape. If you were to not hold down the Shift key, it's going to make like an oval. It's going to be stretched. And I want a nice circle. So to move this again, you go to the selection tool and then you can move it. And I want him to be a bit different color. So I'll make him lighter. There we go. And to move him, so you have to click on him with the direct selection tool if you're going to move it. If nothing's selected, you're just going to drop a box. But if you drag one out, you can select both shapes and move them. And you can also see them here on your layers panel. So let's say I wanted to put that circle behind the oval or the rounded rectangle. I can pull that circle down. And the layers will also kind of give you a hint. If you have a lot of shapes going on, which ones are selected, you'll see that little blue square down in the layers panel. Okay, so moving on. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Oh, there's these snap to grids. These are good to know. So you see those little pink lines that are showing up when I move the shape around? That'll kind of guide you on where to place your shapes to center them with other objects or within a page. So let's say I wanted to drop this right in the middle. Let's get rid of him for a second. Right in the middle of the page, it's going to give you, it'll say center, it'll show you that little pink line and kind of guide you into where to place things, which is really handy when you're doing like layouts and stuff like that, or even for this project. Okay, so now let's do some ears. And I think I'll do some or some ovals. And so I'm going to Command C, Command V, copy paste another one. There we go. And there's my guidelines showing me that my two little ears are lined up. Let's see. It's actually another way to do it. If you select both ears, you can use these align tools and they will help you center them. So I'm going to choose this one so they're centered on a vertical, which they are, but just to show you what else. So you can, that'll put them on top of each other. Now they're horizontal line right, and let's just Command V. So see, that'll kind of show you what those do. Those are handy too. I think I want those ears to be the same color as the head. So I'm going to select them. I'm going to use the eyedropper tool right here. The shortcut is I, and that'll fill the selected shapes with whatever you eyedrop. So I want it to be the same as the head. I'm going to eyedrop it. There. And now I'm going to copy and paste those again. And I'm going to fill them, I think, with like a light pink. And that's going to be the inside of the rabbit's ears. Oh, come on, eyedropper. There we go. So they're a little big. So I'm going to select them both, hold down the shift key because I want them to retain their same size, but be smaller. So that'll scale them down evenly. There. Okay, so let's do some feet. Oh, let's eyedrop that. Command C, Command V, and that'll be the other leg. So that looks a little silly in the front. I want to put them behind his torso, and instead of messing around with my layers panel and pulling them, what you can do is select them. Oh, how I did that also. You can click on an object, hold the shift key down, click on another object, and that will select them both. Now I'm going to go to Object and Arrange, and I'm going to send them to the back. There we go. And now he needs little back feet. Command C, Command V, copy another one. Yeah, and maybe little front feet. There'll be little circles, so I'm going to hold down Shift again. Okay, so I want to move these legs in a little bit closer. I feel like they're sticking out too much. So I'm going to select that one and select those, and I'm going to make them a little bit smaller and tuck them in. And my guidelines tells me they're pretty close. That looks a little bit high. Yeah. Okay. I think I need little legs for my rabbit because those feet look a little funny. So I'm going to use the rounded rectangle tool again. Yeah. Command C, Command V. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with the body now. We'll zoom in, Command and plus, and we'll get into the face. Okay, so eyes are a good place to start. Let's do the ellipse tool. I'll have some googly eyes. And I've got the shape. Now to select it, I can either go to the direct selection tool. It's faster to just hit the letter V. That's the shortcut to the selection tool. And then you can move it. So Command C, Command V, and then V again. There. And let's Command C, Command V. Change it to black. And I'm just going to make it scaled a little bit smaller. So holding down the Shift key. Let's see, Command V. Let's see. Now I'm going to make a white circle. I'm going to scale it way down. This just kind of makes them look a little bit goofy. I love it. Okay. So I'm going to select the Polygon tool because I want like a little rectangle nose or a little triangle nose. And now that I have the Polygon tool selected, you just click once anywhere and it'll pull up this window and you can choose how many sides you want the polygon to have. So I want 3. Triangle. Automatic. Oops. V. Remove that. You can rotate it that way. Okay, so before I do that, actually, I think I need to make like a little bit more dimension on his face. I'm gonna go a little bit lighter. Let's see, and I'm gonna group these items together because I want them to be one. So you can Command G, that keeps them always selected at the same time. Or I'm going to ungroup them, Command Z, Z, Z. Now they're ungrouped, yeah. Let's see. You can use the Pathfinder tool. So go to Window, Pathfinder, you can select both items, and we're going to use these to unite them. So now they're one shape. Actually, I'll go a little bit deeper into Pathfinder. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Pathfinder. So you can use Pathfinder to merge shapes, to minus overlapping parts, to trim them. Here we go, divide, crop, outline. I would just play with it. I won't go into all of them right now. Okay, so here's my merged shape. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. This I want to be pink, so I'm going to eyedropper it, same as the ears. Oh, and that's behind. So I can, like before, use Object Arrange and bring to front, or I can hold down Command Shift and the square bracket, and that will also move them back and forth, front to back. So the square left bracket will send it to the back, and the square right bracket will bring it to the front. That's kind of cute. Okay, so I'm gonna use the pen tool. Actually, I'm gonna use the line segment tool. So that one is right here, and then there's some sub tools. And I think I want, so for this, you don't need a fill for stroke. So that's going to be none. And I'm going to go to black. See, my stroke's 1 point right now. It'll probably should make it a little bit thicker. Let's go 3. Let's see what that's like. Oh, that's way too thick. Let's go back to 1. 1 was actually perfect. You can change the weight of it here as well. So if you want it to be like, oops, cancel. Thicker on one side, thinner on the other, you can change it right here. I think I just like a uniform stroke. Let's see. If you go to this over here, another tool window, you can change more aspects of your stroke. So I want it to have a rounded cap, because that just goes better with my design. There you go. But you can do like a dashed line here also. Let's see. I'll just hide that for now. I don't need it. But yeah, you can see that. I'll zoom in even more. That the cap to the stroke is rounded. I might even do that on my little triangle. I feel like it should be rounded. Yeah. Now do some whiskers. So I'm gonna take just this same line, Command C, Command V, copy paste. Rotate it, and I'm gonna stretch it out. Let's see, so I want the same line on the other side. So you can go Object, Transform, and Reflect. I wish there was a shortcut key for this Reflect because, oops, because I feel like I use it so often. There we go. So you can hit preview and it'll show you what your transformation is going to look like. So let's do that again. I'm going to copy paste and reflect. There we go. Let's see. I accidentally moved his little muzzle, and there's actually a trick. If you are finding yourself, like if you move shapes by accident, you can lock them in place in your layers panel. So instead of like moving that by accident, I can lock it down here, and now I can't move it. I should actually lock everything else too. Or at least plan my layers out a little bit better. So, oops, I cut it. Command C, Command V. And I think I want to reflect those, yes, horizontally. Okay. That's good. Now he just kind of looks like a cat. So I think he needs some like teeth. And I'm going to use the rounded rectangle again. Ooh. Let's hit V to go to selection. And I feel like now, because I'm doing these little teeth, they could be a lot more square, the shape. So I'm going to pull those corner anchors down. You just want white fill and no stroke. Scale it down, hold down the Shift key. Command C, Command V. Those are pretty big. Okay, so where is my locked layer? I want to unlock it because I need to move him. So unlock it over here. And I'm going to select these guys. And Command Shift right bracket. There we go. And there's, you know what? He needs a little tail too. Let's give him a tail. And Command Shift left bracket. There we go. Okay, so that's pretty basic little character using just geometric shapes. Let's see. And I'm going to Command Shift G and group them all together. Whoops. Or is it just Command G? I screwed up. Command G, sorry. Grouped. And hold down the Shift and scale, and then you can make it small. You can make him really big. Oh, ran off the page. And there's a little rabbit. Okay, there it is. I'm going to try to do one with a couple more tools soon. So, thanks guys.